Hello, my name is Paul Henry, Security and Forensic Analyst at Lumension. Welcome to our Patch Tuesday update for July 2013. Well, there's nothing pretty about the fireworks delivered from Microsoft this Independence Day. IT admins may have taken the 4th off to enjoy some fireworks, but they'll be very busy this week patching their systems. It's not a pretty Patch Tuesday this month. We have 7 bulletins, 6 of which are critical. That brings our total of critical bulletins for the year to 22, which is fairly high considering Microsoft released only 34 critical bulletins for the entire year of 2012. This is one of the uglier releases we've seen from Microsoft this year. To say that all Microsoft products are affected and everything is affected critically is not an understatement. It's difficult to prioritize one or two because all these bulletins are significant this Patch Tuesday. Now, there may be some speculation that the ugliness of the release is due to Microsoft's bug bounty program. I personally think that's unlikely. Since the announcement of the program took most security researchers by surprise, it will likely be a few months before we really see the effects of the program. That said, I do expect to see the number of bulletins Microsoft issues increase over the second half of the year because of this new program. Microsoft has long resisted implementing a bug bounty program, which other vendors have found success with. The start of the program will likely increase the number of bulletins we see over time, but in the long run will ensure that Microsoft products are in fact more secure. It will help motivate researchers to improve their disclosure with Microsoft over other sources that purchase vulnerabilities, which includes the bad guys. This ensures Microsoft will be aware of more vulnerabilities, perhaps quicker, and we won't see as many bugs being exploited in the wild before Microsoft is in fact ready to release a patch. Now, all 6 of the critical bulletins this month are remote code execution vulnerabilities, which I find concerning, since these types of vulnerabilities give attackers access to your machine without needing physical access, and many times even without a password. It's definitely a cause for concern. Now, MS13-052, MS13-053, MS13-054, and MS13-057 affect most versions of Windows, including current operating systems such as Windows 8 and even Windows RT. As I've said many times in the past, it's never a good thing to see the current code base being impacted, as that's supposed to be the most secure version available from the vendor. They also affect the most recent versions of Windows Server. Now, MS13-053, this should be your top priority this month. This is the vulnerability that was publicly disclosed by Google researcher Tavis Ormandy a few months ago. Perhaps, thanks to that, we'll say, irresponsible disclosure, it is in fact under a limited bit of attack. Though it's impossible to know for sure, it's my contention that we may not be seeing any active attacks with this vulnerability had the principles of the widely accepted responsible disclosure been followed. In addition, Microsoft has identified a secondary attack vector through a remote code execution, which is also being patched by MS13-053. The secondary vector, however, is not under any active attacks, fortunately. Now, MS13-052 and MS13-054 are interesting because they also affect programs outside of the operating system. MS13-052 affects Microsoft Silverlight 5, and MS13-054 affects Microsoft Office, Microsoft Visual Studio, and Microsoft Lynx, though only Lynx is critically impacted. It would be my guess that these programs are the vector for the attack. The remote code execution might be done through convincing a user to access a malicious file within one of these programs. These are related to a vulnerability in GDI+, which spans multiple programs, which is why these vulnerabilities have such a far-reaching impact. MS13-055 is another IE issue, which we've seen quite a bit of over the last few months. As I always do, I'll caution you to upgrade to the latest version of IE, since that's typically the most secure version. As to this vulnerability, it would be my assumption that this is another phishing-style vulnerability. An attacker would have to trick a user into navigating to a malicious web page within IE before the remote code execution could be completed. This should be your other top priority for the month, with so many CVEs involved in this bulletin. MS13-056 and MS13-057 are very similar to MS13-053, though MS13-056 does not affect Windows RT. I would guess these are also kernel mode driver or similar issues with any operating system, though it's great to see it doesn't impact Windows RT. MS13-058 is the sole important bulletin for this patch period. It's an elevation of privilege issue affecting Windows Defender, which is Microsoft's built-in security mechanism. While it's less worrisome than other bulletins because it's ranked important, it's still concerning in that it's directly impacting the security system for the machine. Windows Defender is also free software, making it very widely used. If an attacker got in as a low-rights user and then used this issue to up their privilege level to administrator, the impact would in fact be critical. I would rank this high on your priorities for that reason. Now, Microsoft has also issued a security advisory this month with a flash update. They've also announced a new policy regarding the Windows App Store. In order to help protect customers, when vulnerabilities and applications are reported, developers now have only 180 days to submit updates to those applications. Updates will, of course, come through the Windows App Store, which helps ensure that the updates applied are not malicious either. You may recall a proof of concept app from Duo Security that came out a few years ago. Google has since fixed the vulnerability that allowed the malicious updates to be installed, but I'm glad to see Microsoft is not venturing down that same road Google did and is instead going with a secure model for updating their applications. This has been our Patch Tuesday update for July 2013. Thank you for listening.